He and IRTHTH thorough. She sobbed. It terms out his FFF and it just like DDD Dumbledore. And then she wailed all over. Oh Dally, I'm so sorry. He circumcised. But listen, we've just been given an anonymous date about where Dumbledore is, so we have to go. Do you want one of us to stay here with you while you birth?
Okay, I have several trillion questions that this author will never answer. First, why did Hiei have sex with Satsuki and when did this happen? Where did the 9 months go? Author, it takes 9 months for a human female to gestate. 9 months. That's this many. This many. Where did the time go? And who did Hiei just circumcise? I've never watched whatever anime series he's in, I forgot by now, but I never watched it, but is he a rabbi or something?
The place where the tip was that Dumbledore was in the Hagrid's house. Apparently Hagrid and Dumbledore are close friends like BFFF, but fucking friends forever, and so they heard from his dog, Axel, that he was in there. The dog learned to speak from being around wizards so much, and then they were off to where Dumbledore was.
Alright, author, we're gonna play a fun little game. Every time I come across a homophobic sentence, I'm gonna have a drink. And then, I'm gonna fantasize about beating the living shit out of you. Right now, my fantasy involves a live mongoose and a rusty crowbar. Great, this fanfiction is turning me into a sociopath. Awesome!
But the journey there was awkward because he and Edward weren't getting along. They kept glaring at each other and then Link noticed, "Come on guys, what is going on guys?" He asked, being a good guy and breaking it up.
Well, thank God Link is here. Things were getting really awkward. But then Link remembers something really, really important.
It's because, remember how Harry's mom and dad saved him through love? He answered.
Holy fuck monkeys. This author got something correct!
Well, it's the same here. We need 2 people who love Dally the most to savor her, and mix together. Everyone looked at each other. They all wanted to say they loved her the toast, but they all knew it was he and Edward, the nemesises. Don't you know what to do? Said Sasuke. Do you know it if you really love her like you
Okay, so in order for Dally to get savored, Edward and Hiei need to fuse or mix together. You know, author, if you weren't such a homophobe, I'd swear this was some sort of euphemism for gay sex. And the last time I checked, Dally wasn't in any sort of danger. Here, she's in the hospital, which is probably the safest part of Hogwarts when you think about it. I mean, people are always dying in that school, but no one ever dies in that hospital.
Ahem. Fusiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiiii to form Platinum Billy. It was Billy Martin, from Good Charlotte, with platinum blonde hair. Go, said Sasuke. That's so wrong, but so hot.
Okay, so Edward and Hiei fused together to create Platinum Billy, which is Billy Martin from the band Good Charlotte. Oh, what? Sometimes I drink when things are stupid. Anyway, you may want to drink along too, so have your hospital on speed dial from the alcohol poisoning and nobody drive and blah 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 blah. I need more alcohol for this. Anyway, Shadow decides that since we've got Platinum Billy on our side, he's not needed on the battlefield. I don't really know what the battle is about, but there's a battle. So he goes to visit Dally in the hospital, and stuff gets really awkward between them.
He went over to hug her. He felt the bump off her belly, but even more than that, he felt her large breasts. The room was cold. From Edward being in there, he made it cold, so her nipples pressed against his chest. He had to pull away quick before he got hard. I have to go, he said. They need me at Chagrin. Sorry.
Oh man, yeah. Heavily pregnant women. They are so hot. They're all big and round, and they have hemorrhoids, and they have to pee every 5 minutes. Ooh, pregnant chicks, yeah. So hot, yeah. Anyway, the next passage contains language so incredibly foul and homophobic that I will not allow it to be read aloud. Needless to say, I would be fantasizing about using a croquet mallet and a Barbra Streisand album to torture this author. Hagrid is killed in a way that is violent, gory, senseless, and above all, extraordinarily hateful. It's then revealed rather clumsily that Mystique is evil. Well, I mean, more evil.
I don't fucking give a Christ about Dally. She laughed. She has the powers and you don't, and Dumbledore and I are going to rape Draco.
If you don't care about Dally, why did you give her your powers in the first place? And why did you just reveal your evil plan in front of everybody like that? And why do you and Dumbledore want to go rape Draco? And why was this written? Why was this written, and why was it put on the internet? I swear, it is like this author is trying to piss me off.
We take him to Azkaban, she said, and then with a bluff-off wind she man-torpedoed and flew out, exploding the building. We need to get out of the fire, they shouted and dived out. Sazunk, he and Link made it out, but when they turned they saw the burning ashes of Shadow trying to crawl out of the carpet. He was holding on for dear life, but the flames engulfed him, taking him deeper to death.
Shadow dies in the fire, so Hiei, Edward, and the gang decide to give him a Viking burial, which is when you put a corpse in a boat, light the boat on fire, and then push it out into the ocean. Now, this guy was burned alive, so I have 2 questions for you. Why would you cremate him again? And number 2, why the fuck would you bother cremating him again? This takes beating the dead horse to a whole new level. Also, isn't Draco in danger of being sexually assaulted right now? Don't you have to go and save him?
Just then the whole school could hear a scream from the hospital. I was Dally. Shit, the baby Easy's coming, they all said in unison as they to the alligator in the Hogwarts.
Of course not. Dally's having her baby that she was pregnant with for all of 3 minutes. God. And, yes, I know, that typo's in there. I'm gonna have to address that typo. Here we go. The word elevator is spelled the wrong way. And that other one about the baby coming, well, honestly.
Finally they got up, but it was too late. They missed the baby's crowning and umbilical cord. But the baby, it was beautiful. It had red eyes, more red than Dahlia's. It was Hiei's eyes, and black hair with red streaks from Dahlia and white from Hiei. And it had fangs because it was Dahlia's vampire genes.
So Dally's 3-minute pregnancy yielded her a healthy, fully grown goth baby. Awesome. I wonder what they're gonna name it.
Okay, he angered. His name is Shadow Darkblood.
So they gave him the lamest and most goth-tastic name ever. Of course, duh. Meanwhile, Dumbledore and Mystique discover that the baby is the Chosen One. The author doesn't bother telling us what that means.
They were now living in Hagrid's house since he was dead as a door's nail, that they fixed it up so it looked like a nicer house, and didn't he smell of dead so much. They also downloaded a few new rooms so the guys could live in there too. Dally, didn't he share a room with anyone? It's not appropriate according to Professor McGonagall, but Edward slept with Hiei and Link slept with Sazuk. Dally said Hiei wasn't allowed to share a tomb with Sazuk because they would screw.
Guys, it's nice that we all live together and stuff, but don't we need to go rescue Draco from Dumbledore and Mystique? I mean, they're probably, like, raping him right now as we speak.
So hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, cause they're raping everybody out here.
Sorry, I had to use that clip. But come on, you were laughing too.
I'm gonna go get some cake from the golden shower, said Edward. They had thrown the golden shower in celebration of the Bobby, and there was lots of lapdoors.
Author, I think you mean baby shower. They don't typically serve cake at golden showers.
Hayward, Edward, go. Sally asked, looking around. She put the baby on the floor and ran out to the living room. The cake isn't it, she shouted, and that's when she saw the note. It was a random note. Is read. We took Shadow away. We'll not return him under any circumstances unless you kill that fucking baby. No one. This was the walk of fucking Mystique and Dumbledore, growled he. They fucking took Draco, now they took Edward. How are they doing this right here under our noses slash?
Yes, they abducted Draco so that they could rape him, and now they've done the same thing to Edward. Why aren't you doing anything?
So you can run and tell that, run and tell that, run and tell that, homeboy, homeboy.
Oh, and we get a brief glimpse at some of Dally's stellar parenting. You need to go see if a member of your man harem was abducted from the next room? Just put the baby down on the floor and leave it there. It's not like it's going anywhere. It'll be fine. Anyway, Dally calls Mystique. I'm not sure why she waited until now to do it. And then... oh god, and then...
Dally, I'm sorry to do this to you. Came a voice. It was obviously a voicemail though, but you should have known better to dan your jeans. You will never have a baby again because your uterus can only hold one egg and you wasted it on this demon baby. It was chosen one and now it will kiss us all. Because when demons and vampires mix it produces a hellspawn that is evilest at its core. I am taking away all the boys in your life so you can't make the mistake Sesame again.
It will kiss us all? Oh, babies are so sweet when they give you little kisses. Baby kisses are like the cutest things ever. They go so cute. Oh, wait a minute. So they're meant to use the word kill. Alright, now here's what's confusing. It's stated that Dally can only ever bear one child ever in her whole entire life. And she has just had that baby, and it's some sort of a demon spawn thingamadoodle. But anyway, she's only allowed to ever have one baby in her lifetime, and she's already had that baby. So naturally, Mystique is taking away all of the men in Dally's life so that she can never get pregnant again. You know, that's like locking the barn door after the cows have escaped, robbed a bank, killed 5 people in cold blood, and fled to the Cayman Islands. If Dally can never get pregnant again, there is no point in this.
And why, baby? She dug and ran into the room where she put it on the floor. He was still there shaking his prisma-colored hair and biting on some rattlesnakes with his sharp fangs teeth. She plucked him and cuddled him. Oh my baby, thank God you're still here. Where are my boys?
Can't buy any toys for your baby? Just let her play with a rattlesnake. Oh, Dally, you make Joan Crawford look like the world's best parent ever.
Wire hangers doing in this closet when I told you no wire hangers ever?
And of course, the baby will know where your mystical man harem is.